The story of Koenigsegg begins with a dream. This dream came from a young boy in Sweden who believed that he could build one of the greatest supercars in the world. His name was Christian von Koenigsegg. Today, Koenigsegg is known as one of the most advanced hypercar companies in the world. The cars are famous for their extreme speed, new technology, and beautiful design. But the story started in a very simple way, with a child who loved cars and machines. Christian von Koenigsegg was born on July 2, 1972 in Sweden. He grew up in a family that encouraged creativity and curiosity. From a very young age, he was interested in how things worked. Many children liked toy cars, but Christian wanted to understand the machines behind them. He would often take things apart just to see how they worked inside. His parents noticed that he had a special interest in technology and engineering. When Christian was a child, he enjoyed building things with his hands. He liked creating small machines and solving problems. Instead of just playing with toys, he wanted to invent new things. This mindset became very important later in his life when he started building cars. Many successful inventors begin with curiosity, and Christian was the same. He wanted to know how engines worked, how power moved through machines, and how design could improve performance. One of the most important moments in Christian's childhood happened when he watched a movie called Flåklypa Grand Prix. This Norwegian stop-motion film tells the story of a bicycle repairman who builds a powerful racing car to compete in a big race. The story shows how creativity and determination can turn a dream into reality. When Christian watched this movie, he felt inspired. He later said that the film helped him realize that even a small team of passionate people could build an incredible racing car. After watching the movie, Christian began dreaming about building his own supercar. At that time, the world of high-performance cars was dominated by famous brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. These companies had long histories and large engineering teams. For a young boy in Sweden, competing with these brands seemed impossible. However, Christian believed that innovation could overcome limitations. As Christian grew older, his interest in business also started to develop. He understood that building a car company was not only about engineering, but also about entrepreneurship. During his teenage years, he worked on several small business ideas. These projects helped him learn about money, production, and marketing. Even though these early businesses were small, they gave him valuable experience. One of Christian's early business ventures involved importing and selling products in Sweden. He experimented with different ideas and learned how to manage risks. These experiences helped him develop confidence as an entrepreneur. Instead of waiting for the perfect opportunity, he believed in trying new ideas and learning from mistakes. By the early 1990s, Christian had already decided that he wanted to create his own car company. This was a very bold goal. Building a car company is extremely difficult. It requires large amounts of money, skilled engineers, and advanced manufacturing technology. Most car companies take decades to build their reputation. But Christian believed that new technology and creative thinking could allow a small company to compete with larger brands. In 1994, at only 22 years old, Christian made a life-changing decision. He founded the company Koenigsegg Automotive AB. The goal of the company was simple but ambitious: to create the best supercar in the world. Many people thought this idea was unrealistic. Sweden was not known for producing supercars. The country had successful car companies like Volvo and Saab Automobile, but they focused on safety and practicality rather than extreme performance. Christian wanted to do something different. He wanted to build cars that were faster, lighter, and more advanced than anything else on the market. His vision was not just about speed. He wanted to create vehicles that combined engineering innovation with beautiful design. Every part of the car would be carefully developed to achieve the best possible performance. At the beginning, Koenigsegg was a very small company. Christian gathered a small group of engineers and designers who shared his passion. Many of these early team members were young and enthusiastic. They believed in the dream of creating a world-class supercar in Sweden. Instead of working in a large factory, the team started developing their ideas in a small workshop. The early years were not easy. Building a new car from scratch requires thousands of components and complex engineering systems. The team had to design everything, from the chassis and suspension to the engine and aerodynamics. Because Koenigsegg was a small startup, they did not have the same resources as larger car manufacturers. This meant that the team needed to be very creative and efficient. One of the first goals of the company was to design a prototype supercar. A prototype is an early version of a vehicle that engineers use to test ideas and technology. Creating a prototype allowed the team to experiment with different designs and engineering solutions. The first concept developed by Koenigsegg would later become the foundation for the company's future models. Christian also believed strongly in lightweight construction. Many high-performance cars use lightweight materials to improve speed and handling. From the beginning, Koenigsegg focused on advanced materials such as carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is very strong but also very light. Using this material allows cars to achieve higher performance because less weight means faster acceleration and better handling. Another important area of development was aerodynamics. Aerodynamics refers to how air moves around a car when it is driving at high speeds. Good aerodynamic design can increase stability, reduce drag, and improve overall performance. The Koenigsegg team spent many hours studying airflow and testing different shapes for the car body. Even though the company was still small, Christian always thought about the future. He wanted Koenigsegg to become a global brand known for innovation and performance. His vision was not just to build fast cars, but to push the limits of automotive technology. This philosophy would later lead to many groundbreaking inventions in the automotive industry. During these early years, Christian spent most of his time working on the project. He was deeply involved in every part of the development process. He worked with engineers, designers, and business partners to move the company forward. His leadership style was very hands-on. Instead of only managing the company, he actively participated in solving technical problems and improving designs. Many successful companies start with a strong founder who believes in a clear vision. Christian von Koenigsegg was exactly that kind of leader. He believed that passion, creativity, and hard work could overcome even the biggest challenges. Even when people doubted the project, he continued pushing forward. The founding of Koenigsegg Automotive AB marked the beginning of a remarkable journey. In just a few years, the small Swedish startup would start developing one of the most exciting supercar prototypes in the world. This prototype would eventually lead to the first production Koenigsegg vehicle and the global reputation that the company enjoys today. However, the path from idea to reality was still long and difficult. The team had to overcome many engineering challenges, financial obstacles, and technical problems. But these early struggles also helped shape the identity of Koenigsegg as a company that thrives on innovation and determination. The next stage of the story would focus on how the company developed its first prototype car and began testing its revolutionary ideas. This period would prove that Christian's dream was not just imagination. It was becoming a real machine capable of competing with the best supercars in the world. After founding Koenigsegg Automotive AB in 1994, Christian von Koenigsegg faced a very difficult challenge. Starting a new car company is one of the hardest things to do in the business world. It requires large amounts of money, advanced engineering knowledge, and a strong team of talented people. At the beginning, Koenigsegg did not have a large factory or hundreds of engineers like bigger companies. Instead, the company started with a small group of people who believed in Christian's vision. These early team members were engineers, designers, and technicians who shared a passion for building something extraordinary. Many of them were young and excited about the idea of creating a world-class supercar in Sweden. One of the first tasks for the new company was to develop the design of their future car. Christian already had many ideas about what the car should look like. He wanted a vehicle that was extremely fast, but also beautiful and unique. The design needed to stand out from other supercars on the market. Brands like Ferrari and Lamborghini already had famous designs, so Koenigsegg needed something special. The team started working on sketches and early design concepts. These drawings showed the shape of the car, the position of the engine, and the overall style. Christian wanted the car to have a low and aggressive shape that looked fast even when it was standing still. At the same time, the design needed to support good aerodynamics. High-speed cars must move smoothly through the air, so the body shape plays an important role in performance. Aerodynamics became one of the main areas of focus for the early Koenigsegg team. When a car moves at very high speeds, the air around it creates forces that can affect stability and control. Engineers must design the car so that the airflow improves grip and balance. The team spent many hours studying different shapes and ideas that could help the car remain stable at extreme speeds. Another important goal was reducing weight. Christian believed that a lighter car could achieve better performance than a heavier one with more power. Because of this idea, the team started exploring advanced materials that were not commonly used by many manufacturers at the time. One of these materials was carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is incredibly strong, but much lighter than traditional metals such as steel. Using this material could make the car both strong and lightweight. At that time, carbon fiber was mostly used in racing cars and aircraft. It was expensive and difficult to manufacture. However, Christian believed that using advanced materials would help Koenigsegg create a unique supercar. This focus on lightweight construction would later become one of the company's defining characteristics. While the design process continued, the team also began thinking about the engine. The engine is the heart of any supercar. It determines how much power the vehicle can produce and how fast it can accelerate. The early Koenigsegg team studied different engine options and performance targets. Christian wanted the car to compete with the fastest vehicles in the world, so the engine needed to deliver exceptional power. However, designing and producing a completely new engine from the beginning would have required enormous resources. As a small startup company, Koenigsegg needed to make smart decisions about where to focus their efforts. The team decided to use an existing engine platform as a base and then modify it to achieve higher performance. This approach allowed them to save time and money while still creating a powerful machine. During these early years, Christian spent much of his time working closely with the engineers. He believed that the founder of a company should understand every part of the product. Instead of only managing the business side, he participated in discussions about design, engineering, and testing. This hands-on leadership style helped the team move forward more quickly. Another major challenge for the young company was funding. Developing a supercar requires a large amount of money. The company needed funds to pay engineers, purchase equipment, and build prototypes. Christian spent a lot of time meeting potential investors and partners who might support the project. Convincing people to invest in a brand new car company was not easy. Many investors believed that the project was too risky. Despite these challenges, Christian remained confident. He believed that if the team could build an impressive prototype, it would prove that the idea was possible. A prototype would show investors and the public that Koenigsegg was serious about building a real supercar. Because of this, the development of the first prototype became the company's main goal. The early prototype would eventually become known as the Koenigsegg CC prototype. This vehicle represented the first physical version of Christian's dream. It was not a finished production car, but it demonstrated the design philosophy and engineering ideas behind the brand. Building the prototype required long hours of work. The small team often worked late into the night, solving technical problems and improving designs. Because they did not have the large budgets of bigger manufacturers, they had to be very creative. Many parts were designed and tested multiple times before they were good enough. During this time, Christian also focused on building the identity of the brand. He wanted Koenigsegg to represent innovation, precision, and extreme performance. The company logo and brand image were carefully developed to reflect these values. Over time, this identity would help Koenigsegg stand out in the world of high-performance cars. One interesting part of the Koenigsegg brand story is its emblem. The shield-shaped logo is inspired by the family coat of arms of the Koenigsegg family. This design gives the brand a sense of heritage and tradition. Even though the company was new, the logo connected it to a longer family history. As the prototype project continued, the team slowly turned the design sketches into a real vehicle. Engineers built the chassis, which is the structural frame of the car. They also worked on the suspension system, which controls how the car handles bumps and turns. Every component had to be carefully designed to handle high speeds and extreme forces. At the same time, the company started gaining attention from automotive enthusiasts. The idea of a new supercar company from Sweden was unusual and exciting. Many people were curious about whether the small team could actually build a car that could compete with famous brands. For Christian, these early years were both exciting and stressful. Building a new company always involves uncertainty. There were moments when progress seemed slow and challenges appeared overwhelming. But Christian's belief in his vision never changed. He believed that if the team kept improving the prototype and refining their ideas, success would eventually come. The development of the first Koenigsegg prototype was more than just a technical project. It was proof that a small group of passionate people could challenge the biggest names in the automotive industry. Each new component and design improvement brought the company closer to its goal. By the mid-1990s, the work on the prototype was beginning to show real progress. The car was starting to look like a true supercar. Its low body, aerodynamic shape, and lightweight structure made it very different from ordinary vehicles. Even though it was still in development, it already showed the potential of what Koenigsegg could become. These early steps were extremely important for the future of the company. They laid the foundation for everything that would come later, including world-famous hypercars and record-breaking speed achievements. However, the journey was far from over. The next stage of Koenigsegg's story would involve testing the prototype, improving the design, and preparing to show the car to the public. This would be the moment when the world would see what the small Swedish startup had been working on. And for Christian von Koenigsegg, this moment would prove that his childhood dream was slowly becoming a reality. After the founding of Koenigsegg Automotive AB in 1994, the small Swedish company began the difficult journey of turning an idea into a real supercar. The founder, Christian von Koenigsegg, had a clear vision. He wanted to create a car that could compete with the fastest and most respected performance cars in the world. However, building such a machine from the ground up required patience, creativity, and a great deal of hard work. In the early years, the company operated with a small team of engineers and designers. Many of these individuals were passionate about cars and excited by the challenge of creating something new. Unlike large manufacturers, Koenigsegg did not have huge factories or massive research departments. Instead, the team worked in a much smaller environment where everyone contributed ideas and solutions. This close collaboration helped them move quickly and experiment with new concepts. The first major goal for the team was to develop a prototype car. A prototype is an early version of a vehicle that allows engineers to test designs and technologies before full production begins. For Koenigsegg, this prototype would prove that their ideas were possible and that their company could create a real supercar. The early prototype became known as the Koenigsegg CC prototype. Designing the prototype started with many sketches and models. The team wanted the car to have a distinctive shape that would stand out among other supercars. At the time, brands like Ferrari and Lamborghini already had iconic designs. Koenigsegg needed something unique that represented both speed and innovation. Christian believed that the car should look elegant, but also aggressive, showing that it was built for extreme performance. Aerodynamics played a major role in the design process. Aerodynamics refers to how air flows around an object. For high-speed cars, good aerodynamic design can increase stability and reduce resistance from the air. The Koenigsegg team studied how different shapes affected airflow. They wanted a body that could cut through the air smoothly, while also producing enough downforce to keep the car stable at very high speeds. The body shape of the prototype became very low and wide. This design helped improve both speed and handling. The engineers also worked on creating smooth curves along the sides of the car so that air could move easily around it. Even small details, such as the placement of air vents, were carefully considered. These vents allowed air to cool the engine and brakes, while also improving airflow around the vehicle. Another important decision made by the Koenigsegg team was to focus on lightweight construction. Christian believed that reducing weight was one of the best ways to improve performance. A lighter car can accelerate faster, stop more quickly, and handle corners better. Because of this philosophy, the team explored the use of advanced materials such as carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is a very strong material that is much lighter than steel or aluminum. It is often used in aerospace and racing applications because it provides excellent strength while keeping weight low. At the time, using carbon fiber in road cars was still relatively uncommon and expensive. However, Koenigsegg believed that it would allow them to build a car that performed better than many competitors. The prototype's chassis, which is the main structural frame of the car, was designed with lightweight principles in mind. Engineers worked to create a strong but light structure that could support the engine and other components. This structure also needed to provide safety for the driver while maintaining rigidity for high-performance driving. While the body and chassis were being developed, the team also began working on the car's engine system. A supercar needs a powerful engine to deliver extreme performance. However, designing a completely new engine from the ground up would have required enormous resources. Because Koenigsegg was still a young company, they chose a practical solution. Instead of creating a brand new engine immediately, the team used an existing engine platform as a starting point. They then modified and improved the engine to produce higher levels of power. This approach allowed the company to focus on other areas of innovation while still achieving strong performance. The engine was positioned in the middle of the car, behind the driver. This layout is common in high-performance sports cars because it improves balance and handling. With the engine placed near the center of the vehicle, weight distribution becomes more even, which helps the car remain stable during fast turns and acceleration. During the prototype development phase, many parts had to be tested repeatedly. Engineers would build a component, test it, and then improve it based on the results. This process sometimes required several versions of the same part before it met the team's standards. Even though this work was slow and challenging, it helped the team learn valuable lessons about engineering and performance. Testing was an important part of the development process. The prototype had to be examined in different situations to understand how it behaved. Engineers studied how the suspension responded to bumps, how the brakes performed at high speeds, and how the engine handled intense workloads. Each test helped the team refine the car and make it better. While the technical work continued, Christian also focused on building the company's reputation. He understood that Koenigsegg needed attention from the automotive world. If people became interested in the project, it would be easier to attract investors and partners. Because of this, Christian sometimes spoke with journalists and automotive enthusiasts about the vision behind the company. During these years, the automotive industry began to hear about the small Swedish startup that wanted to build a supercar. Many people were curious about whether such a small company could really succeed in such a competitive market. Some observers doubted the project, but others admired the ambition and creativity behind it. For Christian, every small step forward was important. Each improvement in the prototype brought the company closer to its goal of building a production vehicle. Even though the journey was difficult, the progress of the early development phase showed that the dream was becoming more realistic. Another interesting feature that began to appear during this time was the unique door design that Koenigsegg would later become famous for. Christian wanted the car's doors to be dramatic and innovative. The design eventually developed into what is known as the dihedral synchro helix door system. This system allows the doors to rotate upward and outward in a very distinctive motion. Although the early prototypes were still experimenting with this idea, it would later become a signature feature of Koenigsegg cars. By the late 1990s, the prototype project had advanced significantly. The car was no longer just a collection of sketches and ideas. It was becoming a real machine with a working chassis, engine, and body. Seeing the vehicle take shape was a powerful moment for the team. It proved that their work was producing real results. However, the journey toward a production car was still far from complete. The prototype needed further development and refinement before it could be shown to the public. There were still many engineering challenges to solve, including improving reliability, safety, and overall performance. Despite these challenges, the progress made during the early development years demonstrated something very important. It showed that a small group of dedicated engineers could build a world-class supercar if they were willing to innovate and work hard. For Christian von Koenigsegg, these early years were proof that his childhood dream was moving closer to reality. The prototype represented the first step toward a future where Koenigsegg would become one of the most respected names in the world of high-performance automobiles. As the development of the Koenigsegg CC prototype continued, the small team at Koenigsegg Automotive AB slowly began to see their ideas turning into a real machine. The early years had been filled with design sketches, engineering experiments, and many technical challenges. But now the car was starting to look like a true supercar. The body shape was complete, the chassis had been built, and many mechanical systems were working. For the first time, the team could imagine showing their creation to the public. For Christian von Koenigsegg, this moment was very important. Since childhood, he had dreamed about building a supercar that could compete with the best vehicles in the world. Now, after several years of hard work, the dream was becoming visible. However, before presenting the car to the public, the team still needed to improve many parts of the prototype. One of the main areas of improvement was the car's aerodynamics. High-performance cars must move through the air as smoothly as possible. If the shape of the car creates too much air resistance, the vehicle cannot reach its highest possible speed. Engineers studied the airflow around the prototype carefully. They looked at how air moved over the front of the car, around the sides, and across the rear section. To improve performance, the team adjusted several design elements. They changed the size and shape of air intakes, which are openings that allow air to enter the engine and cooling systems. These air intakes were very important because a powerful engine produces a lot of heat. Without proper cooling, the engine could become damaged during high-speed driving. The engineers also worked on the rear section of the car. The rear design affects how air leaves the vehicle. If air flows smoothly away from the car, it reduces drag and improves speed. At the same time, the rear design can create downforce. Downforce is the force that pushes the car downward toward the road. This helps the tires stay in contact with the road at high speeds, improving stability and control. While aerodynamic work continued, the team also focused on the suspension system. The suspension connects the wheels to the body of the car and allows it to handle bumps and turns. For a supercar, the suspension must be both strong and precise. It needs to keep the car stable while also allowing the driver to feel the road clearly. Engineers tested different suspension setups to find the best balance between comfort and performance. They adjusted springs, shock absorbers, and other components many times. Each change affected how the car behaved on the road. Through repeated testing, the team slowly improved the handling of the prototype. Another important area of development was braking performance. A fast car also needs powerful brakes. When driving at very high speeds, the brakes must be able to stop the car quickly and safely. The Koenigsegg team experimented with different brake systems and materials. They wanted brakes that could handle extreme heat and pressure without losing effectiveness. At the same time, work continued on the engine and power system. Although the early engine platform was based on an existing design, the engineers made many modifications to increase performance. They improved airflow into the engine, adjusted fuel systems, and refined the exhaust design. Each improvement helped the engine produce more power and respond faster when the driver pressed the accelerator. Testing became a regular part of the development process. The prototype was driven on different roads and tracks to observe its behavior. During these tests, engineers collected information about speed, temperature, handling, and reliability. Sometimes the tests revealed problems that required new solutions. For example, certain components might wear out too quickly or produce unexpected vibrations. When this happened, the team returned to the workshop and redesigned the parts. Even though solving these problems required extra time, the team understood that this process was necessary. Building a high-performance car requires careful testing and improvement. Every problem that was solved brought the prototype closer to becoming a finished product. During these years, Christian continued to play an active role in the development of the car. Instead of staying only in an office, he worked closely with engineers and designers. He participated in discussions about design decisions and technical solutions. His leadership style encouraged creativity and teamwork within the company. At the same time, Christian began thinking about how to present the car to the public. A successful car company must capture the imagination of car enthusiasts around the world. Showing the prototype at major automotive events would help introduce the brand to a wider audience. Eventually, the moment arrived when the prototype was ready to be shown publicly. When people first saw the Koenigsegg prototype, many were surprised. The car looked modern, aggressive, and different from other vehicles on the market. Its smooth curves and low profile gave it the appearance of a true supercar. The reaction from automotive enthusiasts and journalists was very positive. Many people were impressed that a small startup company from Sweden had created such an ambitious project. Some experts even suggested that Koenigsegg could become a serious competitor to established supercar brands. Of course, the prototype was still not a finished production car. It was an early version designed to demonstrate ideas and technology, but it proved that the company was capable of building a real high-performance vehicle. This success helped attract attention from investors and partners who were interested in supporting the project. Another feature that started gaining attention during this time was the special door design. Koenigsegg developed a unique system that allowed the doors to open in a dramatic upward and outward motion. This system would later become known as the dihedral synchro helix door system. It became one of the most recognizable design elements of Koenigsegg cars. As the company continued improving the prototype, engineers also began thinking about the future production model. They wanted to transform the prototype into a car that customers could buy and drive. This required additional development in areas such as safety, reliability, and manufacturing methods. Building a prototype is very different from producing a car for customers. A production vehicle must meet strict safety regulations and quality standards. It must also be reliable enough for everyday use. Because of this, the Koenigsegg team began preparing for the next stage of development. Despite the many challenges, the progress made during these years was remarkable. In less than a decade, a small group of engineers had turned a bold dream into a real supercar prototype. The project showed that innovation and determination could overcome the limitations of a small company. For Christian von Koenigsegg, the success of the prototype was a powerful moment. It confirmed that his vision of building a world-class supercar was possible. The positive reaction from the automotive community gave him even more motivation to continue the journey. However, the biggest challenge was still ahead. The company now needed to transform the prototype into a fully developed production car. This next step would eventually lead to the creation of the first official Koenigsegg model, the famous Koenigsegg CC8S. The path to that milestone would involve even more engineering work, testing, and innovation. But thanks to the progress made during the prototype years, Koenigsegg was now ready to take the next step toward becoming a true supercar manufacturer. After many years of development and testing, the small Swedish company Koenigsegg Automotive AB was finally ready to introduce its first production supercar. The founder, Christian von Koenigsegg, had spent almost a decade turning his dream into reality. The early prototype had shown that the company could design and build a high-performance vehicle, but now it was time to create a car that customers could actually buy and drive. This moment was very important for the future of Koenigsegg. Many new car companies start with big ideas, but never reach the stage of producing real vehicles. Building a production car requires strict safety standards, reliable engineering, and strong manufacturing processes. The Koenigsegg team had to prove that their small company could meet these requirements. The first production model developed by the company was called the Koenigsegg CC8S. The name followed the company's naming tradition. The letter CC stood for Competition Coupe, which showed the car's connection to racing-style performance. The number 8 referred to the 8-cylinder engine used in the vehicle, and the S stood for supercharged, meaning the engine used forced air to produce more power. When the CC8S was introduced in 2002, it immediately attracted attention from the automotive world. The car looked very different from most vehicles on the road. Its body was extremely low, wide, and aerodynamic. The shape of the car was designed to move smoothly through the air, while also producing strong downforce for stability. The smooth curves and clean lines gave the car a modern and futuristic appearance. One of the most striking features of the CC8S was its unique door system. Koenigsegg introduced a special design known as the dihedral synchrohelix door system. Instead of opening outward like normal car doors, these doors rotated upward and outward in a smooth and dramatic motion. This design not only looked impressive, but also allowed the doors to open easily, even in tight parking spaces. Over time, this door system became one of the most recognizable features of Koenigsegg vehicles. The body of the CC8S was built mainly from carbon fiber. As the team had planned during the early development years, using lightweight materials helped improve performance. Carbon fiber is extremely strong but much lighter than traditional metals. Because of this, the CC8S had a very low weight compared to many other supercars of its time. A lighter car can accelerate faster and handle better, which gave the CC8S an important advantage. Under the body of the car was a powerful engine. The CC8S used a supercharged V8 engine that produced around 655 horsepower. At the time, this level of power was very impressive. The engine allowed the car to accelerate extremely quickly and reach very high speeds. For drivers who loved performance, the CC8S represented something exciting and new. Another important aspect of the car was its chassis design. The chassis is the structural framework that supports all the components of the vehicle. Koenigsegg engineers designed a lightweight yet very strong chassis that provided excellent rigidity. A rigid chassis helps improve handling because it keeps the suspension system stable during fast driving and cornering. The suspension system itself was carefully designed to deliver precise control. Supercars must handle both high speeds and sharp turns, so the suspension must respond quickly and accurately. The engineers spent a great deal of time testing different setups to achieve the best balance between comfort and performance. Braking performance was also extremely important. A powerful car must have equally powerful brakes to stop safely. The CC8S used advanced braking technology that allowed it to slow down quickly, even from high speeds. This braking capability gave drivers confidence when pushing the car to its limits. When the CC8S entered the automotive market, it quickly gained recognition for its incredible performance. In fact, the car achieved an important milestone. The CC8S was officially recognized by the Guinness World Records for having the most powerful production engine at that time. This achievement helped bring global attention to Koenigsegg. For a small company from Sweden, this recognition was a huge success. Many people in the automotive industry had never heard of Koenigsegg before the CC8S was introduced. Now the brand was being discussed alongside famous performance car companies. The production numbers of the CC8S were very limited. Koenigsegg did not try to produce thousands of vehicles like large manufacturers. Instead, the company focused on creating a small number of extremely high-quality supercars. Each vehicle was carefully built with attention to detail. This limited production approach helped maintain the exclusivity of the brand. Customers who purchased the CC8S were often collectors and enthusiasts who wanted something rare and special. Owning a Koenigsegg meant owning a car built by a small team of engineers who were passionate about innovation and performance. During these early production years, the company also continued improving its manufacturing processes. Building a supercar requires precise assembly and high-quality materials. The Koenigsegg team developed specialized techniques for working with carbon fiber and other advanced components. These techniques would later help the company create even more advanced vehicles. Even though the CC8S was a success, the team did not stop working on improvements. Christian and his engineers were always looking for ways to push performance further. They began thinking about the next model that would follow the CC8S. At the same time, Koenigsegg started gaining a reputation as an innovative company. Many automotive experts were impressed by how quickly the small company had developed a competitive supercar. The success of the CC8S proved that Koenigsegg could build vehicles capable of competing with much larger manufacturers. For Christian von Koenigsegg, this moment was extremely meaningful. The first production car showed that the dream he had as a young boy had become real. The company he founded less than a decade earlier was now producing one of the most powerful cars in the world. However, Christian's ambitions were even bigger. He believed that Koenigsegg could build cars that were faster, more advanced, and more innovative than anything else in the industry. The CC8S was only the beginning. The next step for the company would involve developing new models that pushed the limits of speed and engineering even further. These future vehicles would help Koenigsegg compete directly with famous brands such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti. The journey that started with a simple dream in Sweden was now becoming a powerful force in the world of high-performance automobiles. After the successful launch of the Koenigsegg CC8S, the small Swedish company Koenigsegg began to gain attention from the global automotive community. The car had already proven that the company could design and build a real supercar. However, founder Christian von Koenigsegg did not want the company to stop there. His goal was not only to produce beautiful cars, but also to create some of the fastest and most advanced vehicles in the world. Because of this ambition, the engineering team quickly began working on an improved and even more powerful model. This new car would eventually become known as the Koenigsegg CCR. The CCR was designed to push the limits of speed and performance further than the CC8S. The engineers studied every part of the previous car and looked for ways to improve it. They wanted more power from the engine, better aerodynamics, and stronger performance at very high speeds. Each improvement required careful design, testing, and experimentation. One of the main goals of the CCR project was to increase the power of the engine. The team worked on improving the supercharged V8 engine that had already proven successful in the CC8S. Engineers adjusted the airflow system, improved cooling, and modified several internal components to produce more power. These changes allowed the engine to generate around 806 horsepower, which was an enormous amount of power for a production car at the time. With such a powerful engine, the CCR had incredible acceleration. The car could go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just a few seconds. But speed was not only about acceleration. Christian and his team were also interested in achieving one of the highest top speeds in the world. To reach that goal, they needed to reduce aerodynamic drag and make the car as efficient as possible when moving through the air. Aerodynamics became a major focus during the development of the CCR. The engineers carefully studied how air flowed around the body of the car. They adjusted the shape of the front, the sides, and especially the rear section. Small changes in body design could make a big difference at high speeds. Testing the car at high speeds was very important. The engineers needed a safe environment where they could push the vehicle to its limits. One of the places used for these tests was the famous Nardo Ring. This circular test track is well known for high-speed automotive testing. Because the track is very large and smooth, it allows cars to maintain extremely high speeds for long periods. During testing at this track in 2005, the Koenigsegg CCR achieved a remarkable milestone. The car reached a top speed of approximately 388 kilometers per hour. This performance earned the vehicle the title of the fastest production car in the world at that time, according to Guinness World Records. The achievement was extremely important for Koenigsegg. It showed that the small Swedish company could compete with the most famous performance car brands in the world. For many automotive enthusiasts, the idea that a relatively new company could build the fastest production car was very exciting. The record attracted attention from journalists, car magazines, and fans around the world. Suddenly, Koenigsegg was being discussed alongside legendary brands such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. Even though the record was eventually surpassed by the powerful Bugatti Veyron, the achievement of the CCR remained a historic moment for Koenigsegg. It proved that the company had the engineering skills and creativity to compete at the highest level of the supercar industry. During this period, the company continued refining its technology. The engineers improved manufacturing methods and developed new techniques for working with carbon fiber. Because Koenigsegg produced its cars in small numbers, each vehicle could receive careful attention during the building process. This allowed the company to maintain very high standards of quality and precision. Another area of development was driver experience. Christian believed that a supercar should not only be fast, but also exciting and engaging to drive. The team worked on improving steering response, suspension tuning, and driver controls. These improvements helped create a car that felt balanced and responsive even at high speeds. While the CCR gained fame for its speed, Koenigsegg was already thinking about the next stage of development. The company wanted to create a model that could meet international safety and emission regulations, especially for the market in the United States. Entering this market would open new opportunities for the brand. To achieve this goal, engineers began designing another vehicle that would follow the CCR. This model would combine the extreme performance that Koenigsegg had become known for with improved safety systems and reliability. The development of this new car required many technical adjustments and careful planning. At the same time, Koenigsegg continued to expand its reputation among car enthusiasts. Owners of Koenigsegg cars often became passionate supporters of the brand. Because production numbers were very limited, each car felt unique and special. Customers appreciated the craftsmanship and engineering that went into every vehicle. Christian von Koenigsegg remained closely involved in every stage of development. He continued to work directly with engineers, designers, and technicians. His leadership style encouraged creativity and innovation within the company. Rather than following traditional methods used by larger manufacturers, Koenigsegg often experimented with new ideas. One example of this innovative thinking was the company's continued focus on lightweight construction. By reducing weight wherever possible, engineers could improve speed, handling, and efficiency. This philosophy became one of the most important principles of Koenigsegg engineering. As the decade continued, Koenigsegg slowly transformed from a small startup into a respected name in the supercar industry. The success of the CC8S and the world speed record achieved by the CCR proved that the company was capable of extraordinary performance. These early achievements laid the foundation for the next generation of Koenigsegg vehicles. For Christian, the journey was still far from complete. He believed that the company could achieve even greater things. New technologies, improved engines, and advanced aerodynamics were already being explored by the engineering team. Each new project brought the company closer to its ultimate goal, building some of the most advanced and fastest cars in the world. The next stage of Koenigsegg's story would involve the development of another important model that would help the company enter new markets and reach a wider audience. That car would eventually become the famous Koenigsegg CCX, a vehicle designed to meet international regulations while still delivering the extreme performance that defined the brand. The introduction of this model would mark another important chapter in the rise of Koenigsegg as one of the most innovative supercar manufacturers in the world. By the beginning of the 2010s, Koenigsegg had already become one of the most respected names in the world of supercars. The company started as a small dream created by Christian von Koenigsegg in Sweden, but it had now proven that it could compete with the biggest car manufacturers in the world. Models like the Koenigsegg CC8S, Koenigsegg CCR, and Koenigsegg CCX showed that the company could build extremely fast and advanced vehicles. However, Christian and his team were not satisfied with past success. Their goal was always to go further, push limits, and invent new technology. Around this time, the company began working on a completely new model that would represent the next stage of Koenigsegg innovation. This car would eventually become known as the Koenigsegg Agera. The word Agera comes from a Swedish verb that means to act. The name was chosen because the company wanted the car to represent action, speed, and progress. The Agera project was designed to improve every part of the supercar experience. Engineers studied earlier Koenigsegg models and looked for ways to make them faster, lighter, and more efficient. They focused on improving aerodynamics, increasing engine power, and introducing new technologies that had never been used before in production vehicles. One of the most important improvements in the Agera was its aerodynamic design. When a car travels at very high speeds, the air around it creates strong forces. These forces can either help or hurt the performance of the vehicle. Good aerodynamic design reduces drag and increases stability. The Koenigsegg engineers spent many hours studying airflow and testing different body shapes. The Agera's body was designed to guide air smoothly over the car and create downforce. Downforce is the force that pushes the car toward the ground as it moves forward. This force helps the tires maintain strong contact with the road, which improves grip and control at high speeds. By carefully shaping the front, sides, and rear of the car, the team created a design that balanced speed and stability. Another important area of development was the use of lightweight materials. Koenigsegg had always believed that lighter cars perform better. For this reason, the Agera used a large amount of carbon fiber in its construction. Carbon fiber is extremely strong, but also very light, which makes it ideal for high-performance vehicles. By using this material in the body panels and structural components, the engineers were able to reduce the car's weight significantly. Inside the car, the company also introduced advanced technology for drivers. Even though Koenigsegg cars are known for extreme performance, the company also wanted them to feel modern and comfortable. The Agera included a digital instrument display that could change depending on the driving mode. This display used advanced technology to show important information clearly to the driver. Another interesting feature was the rotating dashboard display. The display was mounted on a special rotating mechanism that allowed it to remain upright even when the steering wheel moved. This small but clever innovation showed how Koenigsegg liked to solve problems with creative engineering solutions. Of course, the heart of the Agera was its engine. The car used a powerful twin-turbocharged V8 engine that produced extremely high horsepower. The exact power varied depending on the version of the car, but it was already clear that the Agera would become one of the fastest vehicles ever produced. The engine was designed not only for power, but also for efficiency and reliability. Engineers improved airflow, cooling systems, and fuel delivery to ensure the engine could perform at very high levels for long periods. Building such a powerful engine required careful engineering because extreme performance creates high temperatures and strong mechanical forces. The Agera was officially introduced to the public in 2010 at the Geneva Motor Show. This event is one of the most famous automotive exhibitions in the world. Many car companies use the Geneva show to reveal new vehicles and technology. When Koenigsegg presented the Agera, it quickly became one of the most talked about cars at the show. Car journalists and enthusiasts were impressed by the combination of beautiful design, advanced technology, and incredible performance. Many experts believed that the Agera represented a major step forward for the company. It showed that Koenigsegg was not just competing with other supercar brands, but was also introducing new ideas to the industry. After the launch of the Agera, the company continued improving the car and creating new versions. One of the most famous versions was the Koenigsegg Agera R. This model pushed performance even further. It featured improvements in aerodynamics, engine power, and handling. The Agera R also introduced the ability to run on different types of fuel, including special high-performance fuels. When using these fuels, the engine could produce even more power. This allowed the car to achieve extremely high levels of performance. Another area where Koenigsegg showed innovation was in wheel technology. The company developed advanced carbon fiber wheels that were both strong and lightweight. Wheels play an important role in performance because they affect how the car accelerates, brakes, and handles corners. By reducing the weight of the wheels, the engineers improved the car's overall performance. These carbon fiber wheels were among the first of their kind used on a production car. They demonstrated Koenigsegg's willingness to experiment with new materials and manufacturing techniques. Even small improvements could have a large effect on performance when the car was traveling at very high speeds. During this period, the reputation of Koenigsegg continued to grow. The company was no longer seen as just a small startup from Sweden. Instead, it was recognized as one of the most innovative hypercar manufacturers in the world. Car enthusiasts admired the company's ability to combine engineering creativity with extreme performance. For Christian von Koenigsegg, the Agera represented another important step in his long journey. The dream he had as a young boy had turned into a company that was now producing some of the most advanced cars on the planet. However, the story did not stop there. Even while the Agera was achieving success, Koenigsegg engineers were already working on an even more ambitious project. This new vehicle would push the idea of performance to an entirely new level. It would eventually become one of the most famous hypercars ever built. That car would be called the Koenigsegg 111. By the middle of the 2010s, Koenigsegg had already built a strong reputation in the world of hypercars. The company, founded by Christian von Koenigsegg, was known for creating some of the fastest and most advanced cars ever built. Models like the Koenigsegg Agera and the Koenigsegg 1 showed the world that the small Swedish company could compete with the most powerful car manufacturers on the planet. However, Christian believed that the future of performance cars would require new technology and new ideas. Instead of simply building faster versions of existing cars, he wanted to create something completely different. This vision led to the creation of one of the most unusual hypercars ever made, the Koenigsegg Regera. The name Regera comes from a Swedish word that means to rule or to reign. The car was designed to represent a new type of high-performance vehicle. Instead of focusing only on racing performance and top speed, the Regera was built to combine extreme power with comfort, luxury, and advanced technology. The Regera was first introduced to the public in 2015 at the Geneva Motor Show, one of the most important automotive exhibitions in the world. When the car was revealed, many journalists and car enthusiasts were surprised. The Regera looked very different from previous Koenigsegg cars. While it still had the low, wide shape of a hypercar, its design was smoother and more elegant. The car was intended to feel more comfortable for long drives while still delivering incredible performance. One of the most important innovations in the Regera was its hybrid power system. A hybrid system combines a traditional gasoline engine with electric motors. Many car companies had already started using hybrid technology, but Koenigsegg developed a very special system that worked differently from most other vehicles. At the center of this system was a powerful twin-turbocharged V8 engine combined with several electric motors. The gasoline engine in the Regera produced enormous power by itself. However, the electric motors added even more performance. Electric motors are very useful because they can deliver instant torque. Torque is the force that helps a car accelerate quickly. By combining the gasoline engine with electric power, the Regera could accelerate extremely fast while also providing smooth driving. When the engine and electric motors worked together, the Regera produced around 1,500 horsepower. This level of power placed the car among the most powerful production vehicles ever built. Despite its enormous power, the Regera was designed to deliver smooth and comfortable driving in normal conditions. Another revolutionary feature of the Regera was the transmission system. Most cars use a traditional gearbox with multiple gears. Drivers or automatic systems shift between gears to control speed and engine power. However, Koenigsegg decided to try something completely new. The engineers developed a system known as Koenigsegg Direct Drive. The Koenigsegg Direct Drive system removed the traditional multi-gear transmission. Instead of shifting through several gears, the system used a single direct connection between the engine and the wheels. Electric motors help control the power and acceleration. This design reduced mechanical complexity and improved efficiency. For drivers, this system created a very smooth experience. Because there were no traditional gear shifts, acceleration felt continuous and powerful. The car could move from low speeds to extremely high speeds without the interruptions normally caused by shifting gears. This innovation became one of the most famous technologies developed by Koenigsegg. Developing the direct drive system was a major engineering challenge. The team needed to design advanced software and electronic controls to manage the power from both the gasoline engine and the electric motors. These systems had to work perfectly together in order to deliver safe and predictable performance. Another important aspect of the Regera was luxury. Earlier Koenigsegg models focused mainly on extreme performance and lightweight construction. While those cars were impressive, they were not always designed for comfort. With the Regera, the company wanted to create a hypercar that could also be enjoyed during longer journeys. The interior of the Regera featured high-quality materials, advanced digital displays, and modern technology. The seats were designed to provide comfort while still supporting the driver during high-speed driving. The cabin also included modern entertainment and connectivity systems. One of the interesting technologies introduced in the Regera was called auto-skin. This system allowed many parts of the car to open and close automatically using electric motors. For example, the doors, hood, and rear engine cover could be opened using a remote control. The driver could activate these features from outside the car, creating a dramatic and futuristic effect. Of course, the Regera still maintained the unique design features that made Koenigsegg famous. The car used the company's signature dihedral synchro-helix door system. These doors rotate upward and outward in a beautiful motion, making the car instantly recognizable. The body of the Regera was built largely from carbon fiber, just like earlier Koenigsegg cars. Using carbon fiber helped keep the vehicle lightweight despite the addition of electric motors and batteries. The engineers worked very carefully to balance strength, weight, and aerodynamics. Aerodynamics remained an important part of the design. Even though the Regera focused more on luxury than track racing, it still needed to remain stable at extremely high speeds. The car included active aerodynamic elements that adjusted automatically while driving. These components helped maintain stability and control. The production of the Regera was very limited. Koenigsegg decided to build only about 80 units of the car. Each vehicle was carefully assembled at the company's headquarters in Ängelholm, a small city in southern Sweden. The factory itself had an interesting history, as it was located at a former Swedish Air Force base. At this facility, skilled technicians and engineers worked together to build each car by hand. Because production numbers were small, every vehicle could receive detailed attention. Customers were often able to customize many aspects of their cars, including colors, materials, and special design features. The Regera quickly became one of the most talked about hypercars in the world. Its combination of extreme power, innovative technology, and luxurious design made it very unique. Many experts praised Koenigsegg for taking a bold approach to engineering instead of simply following traditional automotive design. For Christian von Koenigsegg, the Regera represented another major step forward for the company. It showed that Koenigsegg could invent new technologies that might influence the entire automotive industry. However, even while the Regera was gaining attention, the company was already preparing another groundbreaking vehicle. This next hypercar would focus once again on extreme performance and advanced aerodynamics. It would also carry a special name connected to Christian's own family. That car would become the famous Koenigsegg Jesko. By the early 2020s, Koenigsegg had already become one of the most famous hypercar manufacturers in the world. What started as a small dream, created by Christian von Koenigsegg in Sweden, had grown into a company known for innovation, speed, and advanced engineering. Cars like the Koenigsegg Agera, the Koenigsegg Regera, and the Koenigsegg Jesko had already shown the world that the company could push the limits of performance. However, Christian and his team believed that the future of hypercars would require even more new ideas. Instead of only focusing on building faster two-seat supercars, Koenigsegg began exploring completely new types of vehicles. The company wanted to show that extreme performance could exist together with practicality and modern technology. This thinking led to the creation of one of the most unusual hypercars ever designed, the Koenigsegg Gemera. The Gemera was first revealed to the public in 2020 at a special event organized by Koenigsegg. When people saw the car for the first time, many were surprised. Unlike traditional hypercar, the Gemera had 4 seats instead of 2. It was designed to allow a small family to travel together while still enjoying the performance of a hypercar. Christian described the Gemera as a mega GT. This meant that the car combined the comfort and space of a grand touring vehicle with the extreme performance usually found in hypercars. Creating such a vehicle required many new engineering solutions. One of the most interesting parts of the Gemera was its engine. Instead of using a large traditional engine, Koenigsegg developed a small but extremely powerful engine called the Tiny Friendly Giant. This engine was designed to produce very high power while remaining compact and efficient. The Tiny Friendly Giant engine had only 3 cylinders, which is unusual for a hypercar. Most high-performance cars use engines with 8, 10, or even 12 cylinders. However, Koenigsegg engineers used advanced turbocharging and modern technology to make the small engine extremely powerful. This engine was combined with several electric motors, creating a powerful hybrid system. When the gasoline engine and electric motors worked together, the Gemera produced around 1,700 horsepower. This made the car one of the most powerful four-seat vehicles ever built. The hybrid system also allowed the Gemera to drive using only electric power for short distances. This feature helped reduce emissions and made the car more environmentally friendly than many traditional hypercars. The ability to switch between electric and gasoline power showed how Koenigsegg was adapting to the changing automotive industry. Inside the car, the Gemera focused strongly on comfort and modern technology. The interior was spacious compared to most hypercars. All four seats were designed to provide comfort during long journeys. Passengers also had access to modern entertainment systems, wireless connectivity, and large digital displays. Another interesting feature of the Gemera was its door design. Like other Koenigsegg vehicles, the car used the company's famous dihedral synchro-helix doors. However, the Gemera used only 2 large doors instead of 4 smaller ones. These doors were designed to open wide enough to allow easy access to both the front and rear seats. The body of the Gemera was built using carbon fiber and other lightweight materials. Even though the car had 4 seats and advanced hybrid technology, the engineers worked carefully to keep the weight as low as possible. Reducing weight helped improve performance, handling, and efficiency. Aerodynamics also played an important role in the design. The shape of the car was carefully developed to reduce drag while maintaining stability at high speeds. Even though the Gemera was larger than most hypercars, it was still capable of reaching extremely high speeds. Another important part of Koenigsegg's modern development involved advanced manufacturing techniques. The company continued producing its cars at its headquarters in Ängelholm. The factory is located on the grounds of a former Air Force base, which gives the company a unique and interesting working environment. At this facility, engineers and technicians work closely together to build each car by hand. Because production numbers are very limited, every vehicle receives careful attention. Customers are often able to customize many aspects of their cars, including paint colors, interior materials, and special design features. Koenigsegg also invested in new technology for manufacturing carbon fiber components. The company developed its own methods for creating strong and lightweight parts more efficiently. These innovations helped improve production while maintaining the high standards expected from a hypercar manufacturer. Another important development during this period was Koenigsegg's partnership with National Electric Vehicles Sweden. This partnership allowed the company to explore new technologies related to electric vehicles and future mobility. Working with other companies helped Koenigsegg expand its research and develop new ideas more quickly. Despite all these changes, Koenigsegg remained focused on performance. Even as the automotive industry began moving toward electric power and sustainability, the company continued developing cars capable of extraordinary speed. One example of this focus was the continued development of the Koenigsegg Jesko. This car was designed to become one of the fastest production vehicles ever built. It included advanced aerodynamics, a powerful twin-turbo V8 engine, and a special multi-clutch transmission known as the light-speed transmission. The Jesko was named after Christian von Koenigsegg, the father of Christian von Koenigsegg. Naming the car after his father was a tribute to the support and encouragement Christian received during the early years of the company. The Jesko was designed in 2 main versions. One version focused on maximum speed, while the other focused on track performance and aerodynamics. Both versions demonstrated the company's commitment to pushing engineering boundaries. By this time, Koenigsegg had firmly established itself as one of the most innovative companies in the hypercar world. Even though it remained a relatively small manufacturer, its influence on automotive engineering was very large. Many car enthusiasts admired the company for its creativity and willingness to challenge traditional ideas. For Christian von Koenigsegg, the journey that began decades earlier had become something extraordinary. The company he started as a young entrepreneur had grown into a global symbol of innovation and performance. However, Christian often explains that the story of Koenigsegg is far from finished. The company continues exploring new technology, new materials, and new ideas that could shape the future of high-performance vehicles. The next chapter of Koenigsegg's story will likely involve even more innovation, including new hybrid systems, advanced electric technology, and possibly entirely new types of hypercars. And just like the dream that started everything many years ago, The future of Koenigsegg will continue to be driven by creativity, determination, and the desire to build some of the most incredible machines ever placed on the road.